opening up our conference play on the road against a very tough opponent. They played very well last week, won on the road at Mississippi State in a hard-fought game. Found a way to win. That's a tough place to play. Defensively, they've got a lot of team speed. They fly around. They're very physical. Offensively, they run the football. They got some receivers that can make one-on-one plays in space, and they can flat out run. Just on another note, from our end, Josh Holsey, he retore his ACL on Saturday. He is out for the year. That's a tough blow. He's an outstanding young man. Second time he's went through this. We're definitely feeling for him. Everyone else is day to day at this point. Also like to congratulate Jonathan Walsh on the AFCA Good Works team. One of our leaders, been one of our leaders around here for a long time. It's always good to see good things happen to good people, and so that was also a positive with that.
Questions?
Gus, you go through a physical camp and don't get many people hurt, and then the season starts and it seems like they start falling. Yeah. Just is frustration there?
Yeah, the first 2 weeks, we've definitely been banged up. We've had some injuries, but you got to find a way to overcome it. And we're always talking to our team, about the next man up, about that number 2 or number 3 guy. You've got to be prepared when your team's called upon, and we're going to be counting on some young guys. The positive with that is you got a chance to grow and get better. We just need some young guys to step up and grow up pretty quick.
Gus, can you talk about how Josh is handling this? Because I know he's looking forward to the season.
Yeah.
Plus, he is not redshirt. Is he going to try to come back?
We're going to talk through all that. He got it fixed, or getting it fixed. So, but yeah, it's tough on him. He's one of our team leaders too, and I know a lot of his teammates are hurting for him, not just on the field, but just the type of person he is. But he's still going to be a part of what we're doing. He's still going to be a leader. Like I said, he's an outstanding young man and represents us the right way. He was looking for a big year.
Did
so
he have?
Like he just hadn't made up his mind yet.
We'll talk next week. I mean, he's struggling right now and just disappointed, but we'll do whatever's best for him.
Gus, was he one of the guys with loss of value insurance?
What's that?
Was he one of the guys with loss of value insurance?
I don't believe so.
Gus, is it the same ACL 2013?
I believe so.
What do you see, from the mindset of the team, the attitude?
Yeah, well, really, they came out Sunday and had a very, very good practice. You turn on the film against LSU, that'll get your attention in a hurry. And so our guys are in a good spot. They had a very good practice Sunday. We need to have a really good one today and tomorrow. That'll be the majority of our work, and then we'll clean some things up on Thursday.
Gus, how hard is it to kind of regain confidence after a game like that?
From a player standpoint, when you don't play your best, but the bottom line is we're 2-0, and we start our conference play. Our guys know we didn't play our best, but they know we can play a whole lot better, and our coaches do too, and we will. We expect to. So that's behind us, and we're looking forward to going to LSU. And that's the way you look at it when you're in the moment. You're a coach or a player. That's behind you, and you look forward and you do everything you can to improve.
Gus, when you're trying to figure out what's going on with Jeremy and the long throws, do you kind of interview him almost like a newspaper reporter? And what were you thinking? What were you seeing? What were you describe for me your decision making?
I think it's all the above with that, and I think the big thing from my standpoint, I got to do a better job of putting him in good situations, and it all works together. He's an extremely talented quarterback. He's going to play well. He's had a couple growing pains, but that's part of it. And the good thing is we're 2-0 going through some growing pains. So we got a good plan for him moving forward, and he'll play better.
Coach, the touchdown pass that Jeremy had to Melvin in the fourth, and then the pass to Peyton out the flat in overtime. Do you see those as plays that he can build on that kind of restore a little bit of his confidence?
Oh, there's no doubt, especially late in the game, and there was a short play late in the game, I believe, to Ricardo Lewis, and the corner was kind of setting on it, and he threw it over his head and threw it away. So those are really good plays, and down the stretch, he made some outstanding decisions, some outstanding throws. you know, so he did a good job finishing that game.
Gus, what's the identity of this offense right now?
Well, we're still kind of learning about our guys. You know, we're a run play action team. We need to run the football. And I think the big thing from our standpoint is the explosive plays. You know, when we're playing good football, we have explosive plays. We've had very few explosive plays the first 2 games. So, you know, from a coaching standpoint, you know, that's something we're focusing on. But we're a run play action team.
When that's the case, and the zone read was obviously part of it the last 2 years, you've shown it sometimes, but Jeremy hasn't run a lot, and that hasn't been part of it. You've struggled to run outside of Peyton. So if that's part of your identity and you're struggling with it, just how difficult has this been to understand why these struggles are happening?
Well, you know, it's about execution, and we will improve. There's no doubt about that. And you got to understand on the reads, sometimes they make a quarterback keep it, and sometimes they don't, and that's just part of it. And you know, from a coaching standpoint, you got to know when and what to do. And so, like I said before, I think we got 7 or 8 new starters on offense. A lot of those new guys are playing new positions. We gathered good information the first 2 games. We expect this offense to be a good offense. We expect to improve, and that's what's going to happen.
If Avery is unable to go Saturday, will you probably go with the same setup you
It's
had last
possible.
Saturday?
You know, Robert Left's a guy too that's right there that has done some good things too. So we just really need to see how this week goes, see how guys are doing. But we do have some good options, we feel like.
Did it cause some issues Saturday with so many guys playing different positions?
You
than
know,
what their
I
custom
think
plays?
communication, I mean, it's anytime you move people and you got guys that are playing beside each other the first time, there's always a little bit that you have to grow and get used to. But, you know, our assignments, for the most part, I think we're solid Saturday. We just need to finish some things.
Javon Robinson was able to dress out, but why didn't he play Saturday?
Well, he hurt his ankle, you know, in that first game, and he practiced a little bit on Thursday, but, you know, he just wasn't ready to go. So he's day-to-day. Hopefully he'll be ready this week.
Are you going to play him Saturday, and at what point do you want to push him out there? Because it seems like he's pretty eager on the sideline to go in the game.
Yeah, you know, a lot of those guys are. It's just a matter of seeing how the game unfolds, but, you know, Peyton has really stepped up. He'll be the first guy out there. But those other 3 running backs, you know, there's a decent chance you'll see them on the field too.
What is it about Death Valley, LSU, that whole atmosphere that just makes it so difficult for opponents to win? And do you think it makes any kind of a difference that you guys are playing during the day as opposed to night?
You know, it's a tough place to play. They play extremely well at home. Traditionally, that's been the case. It's been a while, I think, since we've been there and won. And we've got to have a great week of practice. And we need to play well. We need to protect the football. We haven't been doing a very good job of protecting the football. And I think that goes back to when you asked the identity question. You know, when you turn the football over, and that really makes things a little bit gray. We got to do a better job of doing that. Defensively, we just got to get off the field on 3rd downs. That's really our focus, you know, as far as that goes. But playing a quality opponent, we're going to have to go there and play well to win. But our guys understand that.
Gus, the formations where you have Marcus Davis in the backfield kind of been a little more prevalent in the JSU game. Talk about what advantages you think that gives you.
Well, anytime you can put your personnel and move them around, mixing them up, especially early in the season, you know, it gives people some things to look at that you could possibly use later in the season.
Jonathan Wallace and Carl have been captains. Are you rotating that through, or?
No, those are 2 captains.
Was that a team vote or a combination?
Combination.
Any reason why you haven't used the Wildcat yet, with the offense struggling the way it is, to just spark?
You know, we do have the Wildcat, but like I said, a bunch of new guys, you've been working it and handling the ball and all that, so you worried a little bit about that issue, but we will use it before, you know, the year's out.
You almost wish you had an early bye week, considering you're still trying to figure out the identity of the offense.
You know, I don't think so. I mean, I think our coaches have a real good understanding after 2 games of, you know, what we have and, you know, what we need to improve on and all that. So, you know, we'll take our schedule like it is. We just got to play well, you know, this week.
Gus, you talked a lot about Jason Smith. The ball hasn't been in his hands much in the first 2
Yeah.
games. Is that something that you?
Yeah, you know, he's one of those guys that we do need to figure out a way to get more involved. There's no doubt about that, because he is explosive and he can do some things. And so, you know, that's kind of part of the process about the first 2 games, you know, and you have some good information to have a good plan, you know, moving forward.
How long assess Duke's play the first two games?
You know, he's done some decent things. We moved his position from what we had him earlier in fall camp. But still, you know, he's another guy that needs to get the ball. And we need to catch it when we throw it to him too. So, I mean, it works both ways.
What you had this game to the meeting Saturday, going back home, probably playing probably a lot of family members and whatnot.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Will Carl travel?
Like I said, everybody's day to day. So at this point, you know, I'm not ready to say anything, you know, regarding any of them.
How much concern would there be, given the struggles to develop pass rush without him against an FCS team, if you're going up against LSU without him?
Well, I mean, like, the big thing for us is we got to get better on third down, and that's been our focus.
Did carry on do what he needed to do to kind of get some trust with you and maybe think he's going to have a bigger role on?
Yeah, you know, he's finally back to being healthy, you know, and, you know, there was about a 2.5 week window that he wasn't able to practice, and, you know, getting the rust off and being able to practice full speed and everything, get timing down. So, you know, he's a guy that, you know, you'll see more in the future too.
Because after the LSU game in 2013, you guys kind of settled on what you wanted to do
Yeah.
during that bye week. And obviously it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Are you at that point after 2 games now where you're kind of going through that same process?
Well, we learned a whole lot about our team the first 2 games. And we learned a lot about our new personnel. We got 2 games information. So we have a plan moving forward. You're exactly right. You know, we went there in 2013. You know, after that game, that really defined really who we were. There's some similarities, I would say, with 2013. The difference is, you know, we know more about our older guys that have been in our system offensively for 4 years. But the young guys, you know, there's some similarities. Now, defensively, you know, pretty much a new defensive staff, putting in a new defense. They're learning about their guys too, and the pieces of the puzzle and everything that goes with that.
In 2013, after the Georgia and Alabama games, you were focused on having to refocus the guys and kind of keep the outside distractions of the attention on those plays and those games away. Is this similar this week when so much of the outside attention is on the fall and the polls and narrowly beating that team? Is it a similar situation? I'm trying to refocus?
You know, I think, I would say yes and no. You know, from a coach and a player standpoint, I mean, you don't play well, and you know you don't play well, but you win. You think about it for watching the film, and you got to move on. And so that's what we're doing. And so, you know, obviously the distractions are different in 2013 because of the way it was. But, you know, this is a close group, and they handled adversity well, you know, on the sideline, like I said, with the players and the coaches. And so I thought that was the positive to take away.
What went into moving Duke more inside in the slot, and how do you feel like that?
Well, that's a position that he played last year. Okay, and then of course in the spring we moved him to our X son, but he needs to know both. And those 3 seniors, we move them around anyway.
Coach, when you're coming off of last Saturday and going into a game of this magnitude, how do you balance the line between ensuring that this team is fired up and focused, but guys stay within themselves on Saturday, don't try to do too much?
You know, I think that's part of coaching. You got to know the pulse of your team. You can't be too high or you can't be too low. But I will tell you that, I mean, we're playing a very good team. Our players understand that. And, you know, it's a conference opponent. It's the SEC opener. And, you know, our guys will have a good week of practice. We'll be ready to play. Pretty confident of that.
Yes, it is only 2 games, but what is your impression of the defense when you've allowed 400 yards in back-to-back games, much like the end of last year? You can't get off the field on third down, and you're having a hard time developing pass rush. These are the same problems.
Yeah, well, James, like I said before, the big focus for us is third downs. You know, if we'd have got off the field a little bit better, third downs, you know, early in the game, Saturday, and late in the game, the Saturday before, you know, we'd feel a lot better. And like I said, I mean, we'll still learn this personnel, and they're still learning the defense. And, you know, you look out there, I mean, I don't know, you count 4 and 5 true freshmen out there at one time. So, you know, it's all of the above.
Take a few more.
What about, how much does Brandon Harris, I know you don't have a lot of games open from the season, but what can you see from his improvement from what you saw last year?
Well, you can just watch him, you know, in the game last Saturday, you can tell he's more confident. You know, he was in a very tough spot last year at this time when he came in and started here, you know, for his first start. He's a very good athlete. He's got a very good arm. You know, he's a good quarterback, and you can tell he's more comfortable.
Have you watched the Blake Thomas targeting? on film, did it still look to you like a bang bang play? Did it still
Yeah,
look like
it was a
questionable?
tough one, there's no doubt, it was a tough one.
Was the feedback from the SEC guys basically that as soon as the runner gave up on the play and went down, that signals the end of it essentially? Was that?
Yeah, it was a close one.
All right, Coach, thank you.